Hello, and welcome back to Happiness by Habit, the podcast where we dive into the daily disciplines, mindset shifts, and take forward tools that help us thrive in business and in life. I am your host, Silvana Pimentel, and today I am thrilled to welcome someone who is not only fluent in the language of entrepreneurship and sales, but also fluent in the future. Joining us today, all the way from Romania, is Heitmann, a strategic consultant and the mastermind behind niche hacking, relationship-driven sales, and AI-powered business growth. With nearly a decade of experience in sales and business development, Jens is passionate about building teams, systems, and processes, not just that work, but last. Whether you're trying to grow your business, leverage AI more effectively, or carve out a powerful niche in your market, this episode is going to light you up. Jens, welcome to Happiness by Habit.
Oh, thank you, Silvana. Absolute pleasure to be here. I'm super excited to be diving in with you.
Yes, and I would like to add to the presentation that is, you are not only an amazing person, but I got to know you and I admire you. You are full of knowledge, and I am so happy to have you as a guest today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invite. That's super kind.
Of course. Let's start with your story, Jens. How did your journey in entrepreneurship and sales begin?
It started at the end of my previous journey.
Okay.
Much younger Jens thought he was going to go an entirely different life path. I came out of high school. I was a big coder. I was a super nerd coming out of high school. So I was going into cybersecurity. Thought I was going to go into the CIA. I thought there was going to be a whole life of just tech focus. And what happened in reality, because after coming out of high school, I had an internship at a cybersecurity firm in National Harbor at DC. And I had this whole life path thought out for me. And life then gave me my first sign that entrepreneurship business was actually going to be my life path when I was faced with maybe the ugly side of the coin when it came to that kind of life path, which is navigating corporate politics, micromanagement, more subservient cases. And young Jens knew immediately that this was one of my non-negotiables. It was not something that was going to be continuing out. So that led into a matter of getting out of my shell, getting into a level of extrovertedness that leads to entrepreneurship, to take my strategic thinking and learn the skill sets that I was lacking in. Every year since then, I've learned a new skill set, a new methodology, a new philosophy, which has led to my entrepreneurship focused efforts today.
I love it. And thanks for that story. And then so we can have you here with us today. I'm so happy things work out like that. You are known for your niche hacking. Can you break that concept down for us? What does it mean? And why is such a powerful strategy for entrepreneurs?
Happy to. Niche hacking, it was actually a concept that came from a conversation with a good friend of mine, because we were discussing how AI is such an extremely powerful opportunity for all business owners, for individuals that are in business, looking to get into business, or are transitioning from one space to another, because AI is the key word is enabler. It is the enabler to allow you to monetize and or emphasize your niche. It allows an individual to create new opportunities in a niche that they're experienced in. Because if you're say you're experienced in real estate, or you're experienced in a certain coaching field or consulting field, if you're looking to transition to a new form of business, or how you were working previously was not necessarily something that you want to continue doing, AI can enable you to create AI solutions for your niche. You have so much expertise, and there's so little friction when getting into AI now. It's a lot more of just understanding the logic, is that you can hack your niche and create tons more ways to monetize and produce income for yourself through AI solutions.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. Much bigger chances to be successful in the specific niche and in general topics. Absolutely. Let's talk about AI powered sales and strategy. You're combining data analytics and AI to drive sales results. How exactly are you using AI to make sales smarter and more effective?
That's a fantastic question. The answer that I would give that's most effective, that helps us, especially when I'm approaching sales, is a matter of creating efficiency in getting the consumer to the producer in on a faster track. So meaning automating qualifying conversations, automating navigating conversations. So consumers nowadays are looking, I would say, with our technology focus, with our attention spans, for sure. So you have a lot shorter window to grab somebody's attention, but also push people to where they need to go. So with AI, they can work at that speed constantly and at scale. So that's one aspect that we're doing. The other aspect in regards to sales is data analytics. Amazing how much power for you as an individual, if a business, collect and use data, even tools as simple as using Fathom or a screen recorder for your calls, for your phone calls. If you're having sales conversations, you can even look at, if you're doing e-commerce, you can look at your buying. You can look at when somebody buys, the timing of the day, the timing of the month, and you can take all this data, provide it to AI, and it can give you insights. It can give you customer profiles based on timings and quantifiable areas where you purchase. There's so many aspects of sales, but for us, we use it primarily in that avatar and data analysis, especially for what we're looking to find in a person to refine our products. Number one, we're always looking for feedback. We're always looking for that next bit of data that we can then provide to AI to give us back strategic insight, because AI is really, really powerful at data transformation. A transcript to you is a whole open chart or whole open data set to an AI that it can give you actionable insights on.
Wow, it's really amazing, the world of AI and all the tools and all the doors that this is opening for us. But so many people are intimidated by AI. What is one simple, impactful way they can start using it in their business today?
I love this question. I would say the most powerful way to start getting used in AI today is to treat it as your second brain. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever used ChatGPT, if you ever used any kind of AI chat tool, is that you can open something as simple as a Google Doc. And then there is a function within the Google Doc called voice dictation, which allows you to speak into the Google Doc. And if you're a business owner, one of the most powerful things that AI can be doing for you right now is organization, is acting as a data organizer. As a business owner, you wear a ton of hats. You're handling a ton of tasks. There's so many bits of information, and not everybody is naturally gifted at data organization. I am not one of the individuals that is naturally gifted at being super organized 100% all the time, all day. But with AI, I am so much stronger than not. So going back to what the intent of what you can do today is, if you can open up a Google Doc, use voice dictation under tools, or voice typing, it could be named as, is just start talking. Talk about your plans, talk about the tasks you have during the day, talk about your milestones, just talk. Maybe a couple pages in there. All you need to do is just copy and paste that into a ChatGPT or an LLM, and then ask it, hey, this is the information that I need to prioritize. Please act as a master business consultant, a master at your craft, or a master data organizer. And then please organize this based on priority and I would use the word perceived importance. And then please give me a functional or a strategic list. And that's going to map out everything. It's going to organize everything in under 5 seconds easily. And that's probably the strongest win you can take today.
Yes, and I think that the tool is really, really useful, especially for people who are intimidated, because it's like having a conversation with somebody, just recording that. The key is in the way the prompt goes. Like, if the more information or the more accurate prompt is, the better outcome we will get, right?
Exactly. The input in is what you give it out. So if you give it a ton of data, and the beautiful thing is, if you give it a ton of data, it gets even more in-depth. It gets more purposeful. So the best thing you can do is just give it as much context as possible, in terms of how much you talk to the document, or how in-depth you ask the request from them is.
Absolutely. So yes, this is very interesting, especially the fact that we can use this as a second brain. No? You have different tools, and it's key to identify the right tools for each person, or for each business, for each need, because the tools that are out there, they are a lot. All right, let's talk about your top 5 tools that you would recommend for people starting in AI and how they can utilize them to improve their life and to be more successful in their business?
No, fantastic. I'm absolutely happy to. So the number one is the AI chat of your choice. There's a lot out there. The top three of this category is ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. Those are the top tools. You can play around. You can think of them as huge, massive internet brains. And you can talk to each one. Each one has a little bit of a different perspective, a little bit of a different personality, but each one will have really productive conversations with you. So that's number one. Number two is an automation platform that I really enjoy. It's super accessible. It's definitely one of the most powerful as well. It's called N8N.io. That is N8N.io. But I use that for a lot of my personal automation for building a little bit of agent flows. But if I'm ever automating certain tasks or I'm building out workflows, that's the platform I use. To actually build out specifically agents, I use something called Relevance AI. Relevance AI is probably one of the most accessible AI agent builders today as a no-code tool, because it has a really friendly environment. It has a really robust education system, but it allows somebody who has no idea what an AI agent is or what it does. And you don't see it as code. You see it as the agent. You're giving it its tasks. So I really recommend that platform. For personal study, Google has a tool called Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is a really strong self-study platform, because you can take your notes, you can take different areas of research and then turn it into different digestible formats. You can take a book or a paper that you're researching for, you can take Wikipedia articles and turn them into podcasts. So it'll have two AI very realistically talk to each other about the topic that you're learning, because everybody learns a little bit different. Some people are visual learners. Some people are written learners. Some people are also auditory learners. So it actually allows you to have different forms of study. Yeah, and just a podcast is just one example. If you're a passive auditory learner, it can create flashcards. It can create mind maps. So these concepts, and you can take all this information. It's free too. It's amazing. And it takes all that through the power of AI and provides that in different form. That's data transformation, which is one of the most powerful things. Last piece I would use, the last tool I would use, is a tool called Perplexity. Perplexity.ai is the new Google. It is a massively powerful research tool. You can ask very robust questions. It's like talking to Google with, the full access to the internet, but you can prompt it like an AI. Whereas many years ago, when I was actually getting into the cybersecurity field, one of the skills we had to learn was Google Fu. Google Fu is, a kind of a joke on Kung Fu. It allows you, it's a skill set you learn of how to actually Google things, how to properly Google things, because Google is not super smart in of itself. It has so much power, but if you ask it a certain request or certain task, it doesn't necessarily mean it can answer it in the best way. You have to learn how to ask the questions right. With AI and with Perplexity, you can ask a question however you want, and it's going to give you a really high quality answer. And the power that it can do for research is amazing. So I would recommend, and those are my top 5 tools that I'm using today.
I love those tools. Those are really important tools that can make a big difference. Let's talk about the balance between automation and the human touch, because so many people questions this AI influence, and perhaps some tools might sound too robotic or some too fake. But that is because of the human touch, or lack of the human touch. How do we keep sales personal and authentic in an AI-driven world?
No, it's a fantastic perspective on that, because with sales right now, we are not at the stage where everybody's ready to buy from an AI. Consumer trust is at an all-time low. You need a lot more vetting. There's comparison between logistics. There's value for your money. It's a matter of, if I don't trust you, I'm going to go try and find a cheaper price. I'm going to go do all this research. The human aspect is what brings that trust, especially in the education space. If you do consulting, if you do any kind of service-based business, one of the most important things you can do is show your face, is be on a call, speak to them, create a proposal with them. Now, that is to increase the speed of trust and loyalty for sure. But how you marry AI into that process is actually at the text level. So voice AI, while getting super, super powerful, is not the best for negotiations. It's not the best for it. And the reason being is actually something that has been drilled into you that you may not realize for years and years and years is that airlines, internet providers, most high cap companies, whenever you call into their customer service, you always get, please say what you're looking for, right? You get an automated voice saying, please say what you're looking for. Customer
Mm-hmm.
service. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I can't hear you. Please say that again. Customer
No.
service. So everybody has a underlying customer service mode or an underlying irk when they start hearing AI voices or AI or automated calls.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into our customer service mode where we withdraw all the information. We're not willing to talk about stuff. We just want to get to the person immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
I think over time it's going to go away as these AI voices, get a little bit more competent and get a little bit more inclusive. But that's the biggest barrier to AI voice when it comes to sales. AI voice is actually really good in terms of inbound, because if you have a number that somebody can call about your business, like if you have a scheduling, if you're looking to schedule a call, if you're looking to schedule a service, if you're looking to schedule an estimation, if you're, say, for example, a landscaper, a roofer, and you want somebody, you don't necessarily want to have, if you can't have a human there 24/7, you can have an AI there. And the AI can collect information. If a person is willing to reach out to
Mm-hmm.
provide information to you, then you can have AI collect that and then put them in the right area without too much issue. If you're trying to pull information out of somebody, like say you're using AI voice for reaching outbound or reaching out to your leads, if they don't trust you, if they don't know you, it's not going to happen. It's just not, it's just super hard, because if they realize that you're talking to an AI voice, it just kind of shuts the conversation down. Now, here's what you can do as a business owner that actually does have an effect on your outbounding. If you're a leads-based business, if you work with clients, you work with leads, you can automate your texting. Now, there's a lot of powerful tools I've worked with. I've been introduced to one. Closebot is a really, really powerful one. But what it allows you to do is if an individual either inquires about your service or signs up for a lead, however you reach out to an individual, you can have AI reach out in a human-like manner saying, hey, I saw you signed up for this. I was looking to get, a couple more questions, or I was looking for a little bit of clarification on this. Could you help me with that? Because it's super hard, especially nowadays, if you do it right, to differentiate a human from a bot in text. And the big key factor there is if you do it right. One of the biggest giveaways, right? One of the biggest giveaways in doing text or text AI is getting a whole paragraph of information, right? Is if you send out a text to somebody, or if you're messaging somebody and then you say, hey, how are you doing? They message, hey, how are you doing? You're saying great. And then all of a sudden, like a second later, you get this wall of text. How would you feel about that? Would that be a little bit
Weird. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
So
it's not real. It looks like not real.
yeah, copy and paste, or, it generated. This looks like a predetermined response. So
Absolutely.
exactly. So with the little things that you can pay attention to when building out AI conversations is how fast the AI responds. And then does the amount of information or the amount of context that it sends, does that seem human-like? Is it 1 or 2 sentences? And that's probably one of the biggest things, is limiting your AI's responses to 1 or 2 sentences per message, unless it needs that context. But those are some of those powerful things. 90% of your conversations can go by as a human, because typically a conversation in a sales matter only lasts about 5, maybe 6 texts, unless they're following up. Because in 5 or 6 questions, you can drill out what the customer is looking for, what they need from you, how you can help them, and then their next steps. Because if you then pass it off to a human after qualifying using a concept called lead scoring, if they qualify for the product that you're looking for, you can then pass it off to a human right then and there. Whereas you had to have that human barrier, which maybe was not as efficient. But just to recap, do a really, really high level overview. Texting or automating your texting with AI for your business is one of the most powerful things you can do for your business in the form of communication for sales. The voice aspect, or voice agents, you can have inbound agents be one of the things that you can do. Outbound, I would wait maybe a few more months, maybe a little bit later out of the year. And then augment your sales team, your salesmen with AI, give them AI powered tools to allow them to succeed more. And that's how I would recommend leveraging it, especially most in today's day and age.
Absolutely. Those are really powerful tools, especially when you give the human touch to it so they are more credible because with all the tricks that you taught us, we can make it look like a real, like you're talking to an actual person, either in the chatbots or the different other tools. But also, there is also this need that remains about the human connection, and this is
Mhm.
typically done by in the face-to-face interactions. For that aspect, we still need a person to do that part of the job, but we can empower these salespeople to get more tools and to make better decisions to serve their customers with AI, right? So that's a really important point.
100%.
Very good. As we are speaking, you are currently in Europe, right? In Romania, while we're recording this episode. One of the perks of remote work. How has flexibility impacted your lifestyle and mindset as a consultant and entrepreneur?
It's been a very powerful and eye-opening matter. I have had one of the goals I was born in the US. I grew up a little bit everywhere. I did grow up in Germany. I grew up in the UK. So I got a little bit of a taste for that. But one of my goals going into 2025 actually was to make world travel happen. I work at one of my personal philosophies. I call them my laws per se, but I do have a specific law called the law of world travel. It's one of my written goals that I wrote a long, long time ago, but I know for at least my journey or my entrepreneurial journey, I had to create a life. I had to create a position. I had to create a skill set that allowed me to enable that. And it's been absolutely amazing actually putting that, having that bore fruit and being able to travel, because I got out to Europe. I've been in Germany since early January. I just, I'm going to be in Romania for this month. I'm actually looking at potentially Greece or Croatia next month.
Nice.
And just being able to experience the cultures and feel that lifestyle per se, and just be immersed in these areas. It's fantastic as an individual, but it's also just super. It reinforces. It kind of removes a lot of imposter syndrome. Because one of the most powerful things you can do as an entrepreneur is, if you're looking for growth, if you need to reinvent yourself, if you need to level up or move on to the next step, one of the most powerful things you could do is actually relocate yourself physically, because a lot of who you were is tied to where you've been. Right.
Mm.
So if you grew up and you need to become a new person in your entrepreneurial journey, you can't do it in your hometown. There are some rare few that could, but most cannot do it in their hometown because your habits, your personality, your relationships are so tied there. And one of the most enabling things is traveling, and it's only reinforced, especially just with aspects like this. So I'm super excited for what's coming forward with it.
Absolutely. You're turning into a reality. So many people's dream, I think, working remotely and traveling the world. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yes, that's amazing. That is really, really good. And that is one of the perks that we get from working remote and doing work with AI or as an entrepreneur, right? So that's very
100%.
good. I'm very excited for you. So what's
Oh,
your
thank you.
next, so you're planning to travel throughout the year in different countries, or what's the plan?
Actually, yeah. So with one of mine, how Silvana and I met was through a company we mutually partake in, called AI for Business.
Uh-huh.
So one of the live events we went to back in March was in Jacksonville, Florida, actually. So
Yes.
being out in Germany, I flew back for Jacksonville. We had a fantastic time at the event. It was absolutely amazing. So what is being planned is another event in June.
Right.
So tying it back to your question, what's my plan for the year is actually, just kind of go month to month, keep going to countries, and then I'll fly back, potentially back to, well, I'm going to be flying back to Florida come June. But
Uh-huh.
there is possibility where I may end up in Florida, back in the US by the end of the year, after I get either my taste or, it out of my system. But honestly, it's a very hard thing to give up when you're doing it right, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But it's something that I'm going to try and keep going for as long as possible.
I love it. So you can come back or not. You might be still traveling the world. It's amazing. It's really, really good. I'm excited for you. That's really, really cool.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
talk about another important question. What is your why? What keeps you fired up and committed to helping others?
I think it's one of the things that I live by. I kind of talked about my laws. I talked about a certain concept. I could go into that. I think and I don't want to, pull a conversation off AI, but I think one of the general rules that I live by is I just call it my Midas rule. And the Midas rule is I wish to be a person, or my why is I strive to be a person that no matter who I touch, who I speak to, who I help, they step away better. They step away with a little bit of gold. And that's what keeps me, my why is just to be a person that can do that.
Mm,
And it's just the one thing that I'm going to keep trying to do until the foreseeable future.
I love it. Absolutely. You have done so much already, but I have to ask, what is on your bucket list? And is there any specific thing in your bucket list that you have uh, planned?
Might do ice climbing here with my brother this winter. Is
Nice.
a little bit of a smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, I would say in my business journey, one of the next steps would be I would love to take a world into creating a space or being able to provide my knowledge on the kind of digital nomad space. Especially with this, I feel right now a lot of what I've experienced, I'd love to be able to share it. I'd love for, if anybody needs advice regarding it, I think having a space or a platform to talk about that would be fantastic.
Well, and I can attest for you how wonderful you are as a coach, as we're working together in this group, AI for Business. You have a gift to explain things that are complex into a simple way, and you are so good and disciplined, and I love that about you. And I would encourage anybody listening to stay in contact with you because you can definitely help many people with this gift you have, how they can implement these small habits or tools of AI into making a big difference in their business. Let's talk about that, Jens, for a moment. Let's talk about what you do with what services you offer or what you can do for entrepreneurs or for the businesses you can help.
Yeah, of course. Especially one of the things, and what I work for right now is I do have my personal consulting. It's called New Light. So it's a new light on business. It's a new light on AI. Essentially, it's strategic consulting for solutions consulting, especially when you're building your systems and building your processes. Because if you don't have that overall map of where you need to go with AI or build out with AI, it's super hard to go from the ground up, especially on that kind of front. So always the best way to contact me is just my email. It's jens@newlight.io, and that is nulight.io, just regarding any conversations or any inquiries. If you are an entrepreneur that is looking to get into AI or needs a little bit more of a foundation, you can always reach out to another matter that I consult for that I help with, which is AI for business. This is more of foundational pieces. This is learning the tools about AI as an individual, as a business owner. And that one would be, you could either go to the website for actually probably one of the easiest things is you do .aiforbusiness.com. And that would actually bring you to one of the live events that the company hosts. Or you can email me at jens@aiforbusiness.com regarding that aspect. But those would be the best ways to contact me about AI.
What advice could you give to an entrepreneur who is feeling stuck? And where should they begin to shift momentum?
I would say it kind of ties back to what I was saying earlier, is being able to release all these thoughts into the digital space to be organized. But it's so powerful, and I can't say it enough, but is don't allow yourself to overthink. Let AI help you organize your thoughts. We are in the day and age where you can use it. You should use it to help you. Do not treat it as somebody that's going to replace you. Treat it as somebody that's going to help you. AI is the efficiency multiplier. Don't think if you don't learn it, it's going to replace you one day. Be happy to learn it because you can multiply your efficiency by a factor of 10, by a factor of 100. So the simplest thing is just, if you are unable to really simplify the problems that's facing you, because overthinking or having problems is just something you can't handle. It means there's too many thoughts, there's too many aspects to handle. So make it simple, drill it down, try and find one solution you can get today that helps you, that goes towards the bigger picture. Because if you wake up today and then you wake up tomorrow, the problem that you're facing is actually not that big of a problem. If you are awake, if you're living, you're winning every day. So that means you have time. You have time to take the problem one step at a time. So overall, just don't overthink it, simplify it down, and use AI to help you in that kind of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. One other important thing I see is that a lot of people fear AI as something that will replace their jobs. And the truth is that yes, well, their jobs, if they don't get into the AI world, if they don't learn AI, their jobs might be replaced, but not necessarily by AI, but instead by somebody who understands and excels in AI. So anyway, I think it's important, very, very important and crucial to learn and be super involved in AI because it's something that can make a difference to optimize your life with the tools.
It's a matter of, especially if it's something where if that's ever a concern for you, the beautiful thing about AI is that it's the great enabler. You can learn anything with the power of AI. If you take that one tool that I talked about, Perplexity, plus YouTube, there is nothing you can't learn. There is nothing you can't learn. There's so much information out in the world right now. And the beautiful thing is that the jobs that are being automated are jobs that aren't necessarily progressive jobs. They're not jobs that have kind of a scaling factor. The only industry maybe is the coding aspect, but still it's not there to replace people yet. It's powerful. It's allowing individuals that did not know how to code before do entrepreneurial or create products that they had no idea that they could do. But a lot of the automated jobs that are going on right now is just jobs that don't have that kind of growth potential. But at the same time, it's giving you the opportunity to grow. It's kind of given that little kick to, hey, I've got all these AI tools. I can research new skills. I can research new thought concepts. Like I can make myself valuable, especially nowadays at a speed that was unprecedented.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jens. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights, strategies, and story with us today, Jens. Your passion for helping others and grow through smart systems is really next level. It's very inspiring. Before we close, any final thoughts of words of encouragement you would like to leave us or our audience with?
I always recommend a good book. If you're a
Oh.
business owner and you have a book that you're looking to learn, you're looking to get inspiration from, especially as an individual, I would say on an individual level, I would always recommend The Alchemist. The Alchemist is just
The
a
Alchemist is
very
a good
classic
one.
book. It was actually one thing that has really sparked a lot in my personal journey, my entrepreneurial journey. In terms of business, I would recommend Blitzscaling by, I believe it was Chris Ieh, and I believe Reid Hoffman, because blitzscaling is a powerful concept that you can apply to your businesses, especially if you're looking to scale. And it comes straight from the core concepts of Airbnb. It comes from the core concepts of OpenAI, how they grew their companies as fast as they did.
Interesting. Thank you for that. And I think you should write a book, Jens. You have so much knowledge. You should put everything in writing and write a book
I might
that we
actually
can
put that as
share.
my bucket list. If
Yes,
kind
put
of
it
what you're
on.
talking about, I think what I talked about earlier about ice climbing and then creating maybe a travel blog, I actually would put a book high above that, or maybe a book would enable the travel blogs.
Nice. Wonderful. Let's end with some quick questions. Just tell me the first things that comes to mind, okay? One word that describes your sales philosophy.
Relationship.
Relationship. Oh, yeah. So powerful. Coffee or tea when you are deep in strategy mode?
T.
AI tool right now.
Manus AI.
Interesting new tool. A book that changed how you think about growth.
I would say going what I kind of mentioned, Blitzscaling by Chris Ye and Reid Hoffman. Another one is Rocket Fuel.
Very good. If your business journey had a theme song, what would it be?
That's a good one. I think so. It makes me think back to there's a Disney movie called Hercules. There's a song there called Zero to Hero, and I think that would be the best one to represent that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very nice. I love it. Is there any motto that you have in life, any mantra?
Shoot for the sun. If you always shoot for the sun, the least you're going to do is land on the moon, and you're leagues ahead of people that chose to stay on the ground.
Oh, that's a very nice one. Very good, very good. Yes, I would love to learn about your happy habits. You know, the name of this podcast is Happiness by Habit. What are the top 5 happy habits you use in your daily life?
Oh, fantastic question, Silvana. I would say I'm a big believer in your body, and a lot of your growth is tied to your personal body, your personal um, habits. So the 3 habits that I would use is number 1, I get fitness at least about 4 times a week. I go to the gym about 4 times a week. I make sure that I don't
You
skip
can
that.
see, yes.
And paired with that is I get 8 hours of sleep every night. It's my non-negotiable. It's 8 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter if I go to sleep at 5 a.m. It doesn't matter if I go to sleep at 8 p.m. I will get 8 hours of sleep, as that is what feels me a lot. But in terms of mental growth or in mental training, I do try and practice at least an AI tool or an AI concept, especially being in the field every day. And I would recommend anybody looking to get into AI, whatever service you're looking to do, whatever service you're looking to build, have something that you can do every day. Build your habit around it, because your habit is going to lead you to success. It's not going to be the tool itself. It's going to be your habits that lead you to success.
Yes, the discipline of doing the same. They say that the habit is formed after 21 days of doing the same activity. So that's how you can impact your life with implementing simple habits. So I love your top habits that bring you joy. Those are really, really good ones. And for personal growth, can you give us 2 more?
For personal growth, I would say do either weekly, or you can even do nightly. If you're not a journaler, I'm not quite like I don't write in a journal, but however, I do talk and I do recap a lot of what I do at night into a voice into my computer. And then I just use AI to organize it. And I have a whole database of information. I have a whole second brain of data that's just tied to me. And that's just tied to my personal growth. And that is a tool I use called Obsidian. Obsidian is my kind of like database or knowledge vault for personal storage. And then for a matter of personal growth, I would say the most important one that I have had experience with is make an effort to know people. I would say it's especially in a conversation. If you're out at dinner, if you're out going somewhere, if you're out running an errand, if you're talking to somebody, please try and take just a little bit of a step forward. Instead of saying, thank you, have a good day. Say you're at dinner or at lunch and your waiter comes up and they ask for your order. And after you give it to them, can you ask them, please say, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And after they give it to you, please use it. Because number 1, it's going to let you grow confidence. I would say it's going to tie back to your confidence, but at the same time, it's a good habit. It's good to be acknowledged. It's good to be more than your job position. So when you treat people as human or as an individual, it really comes back around to you. So it makes you much more enjoyable to be around.
People love to hear their name. It's one of the most beautiful things we can hear. So very, very nice. That's a very good habit. Thank you so much, Jens. Again, really enjoyed it. So
thank you for having me on. Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation, Jens. For our listeners, if you want to learn more about Jens, please make sure to connect with him. We will post his contact information here on the podcast. And trust me, you will walk away smarter every time after a conversation with Jens. This is Happiness by Habit, where we believe success isn't just about hustle. It is about habits that fuel impact. Well, this is Happiness by Habit, where we believe success isn't about hustle. It's about habits that fuel impact. I am Silvana Pimentel. And until next time, keep building, keep growing, and keep showing up as your boldest self. Bye-bye.